Well, hello everybody. It's record time with Chris, episode 63, and I have a real treat for you today. A fella named Alex, who's a talented musician, a vinyl Instagrammer, and works at the Scarborough Bull Moose location, is going to help me review this box set that's out this month by Ray Charles. It's called True Genius. It's got 6 CDs, and it's one of the ones, as you can see, it's in that sort of book format. Let's just jump right in and see what Alex has to say about it. Well, I got to say, I was psyched that you agreed to help so readily, because I know like your Instagram stuff is really good, and I know like you're like that sort of stereotypical record store guy where people are like, wait, how do you know about all this stuff? And I'm like, well, he works at Bull Moose, of course, but I bet you get that from customers sometimes, where you're like, what is this? How do you know this jazz that's like 3 times as old as you?
Oh, it's important to spin records. If you go back and you listen to something and you look at the back of the record and you see who's playing on it, and then you listen to what they've done, and it's a never-ending cycle of music, and it's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what we've got today, right, is the Ray Charles box set, which will be out in just almost immediately. It's right around the corner. It's 6 discs. It's called True Genius. And so what did I thought it was pretty great. What did you think about it?
I really dig this. Yeah, I had a good time listening to it. I checked out all the discs, and each one was a little different, which I liked. Some of them were more straightforward than others. Some of them were like a little bit of a mix, where I'd got some of like the later tracks that I had not heard. There was a few things that really, I would have had to really dive deep into his discography to find. So the compilation was really, well set. And I'd say that I really like the live tracks. The disc 6, that was cool, and I'm pretty sure that was unreleased. I think that had never been put out before.
So yeah, you're really right. Cool. Yeah, this is the first time that's been out. Yeah, which is super special. And I think a lot of the other stuff is probably, not in print on CD right now anyway. So, it's there's a lot of stuff on there. I hadn't heard a lot of that either. I'm right with you on that for sure. And one thing that I did notice was that, so the box set starts when he took over his own catalog. So which was super rare, in the early 60s for any artist to own their masters. But he figured that out. I mean, he owned his recording studio, he owned his publishing, he figured this out. While people were being taken advantage of for decades and decades after that, he had it all figured out. So they don't have the stuff that his estate doesn't own. They only have the stuff that he released on either licensed to ABC or through his own Tangerine Records. But you mentioned the live thing. A lot of those Atlantic songs, those big hits, we have live versions of them. I think we have 2 live versions of a couple of them.
Yep, there's a couple of live tracks on a few other discs.
Yeah, and but as you and I were saying before, I forget who brought it up, that most people who would want a 6 CD Ray Charles box probably have this just What I Say and there's the studio version of Hallelujah, I Love Her So, and all those songs, Hit the Road Jack, all that stuff. You maybe don't need it, and that leaves space for all this other stuff that we don't have. He was huge for decades. It was not just his early career, and then that last album, right? But that was released right when he died. That won, I don't know, 17,000 Grammys, whatever it was.
It won a ton. Yeah.
That thing was, that duet album, and that was huge. I mean, you weren't working at Bull Moose then, but I was here already, and that was just huge. It was what's cool, that's one of those albums that people who don't buy a lot of CDs bought. Everybody who's really into music wanted it, and then it brought a whole bunch of people who only buy a CD every couple of years.
Agreed. That was the one. Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah. Like Nora Jones did that. It's funny because she's on that, you know, she did that. Riverdance soundtrack was, you know, a couple of those things were, pull people in that way. So, so content wise, what, you mentioned there were some things that you hadn't heard before. What did you, were there any ones that like really jumped out that you thought were pretty cool?
Some of the I think, let me see what disc, I think it was number 5, that had some of like the duets that he was doing with some of the country singers. I knew, so self-admittedly, I'm not a huge country guy, but I definitely will dabble in it, and it was really cool for me to get a chance to listen to him playing with some of these larger country guys, because I normally don't associate right with that. But actually, I got the chance. They also had a lot of really nice information in the booklet on the inside of the box set. I can hold it up really quickly. And there's a lot of really nice quotes I will show. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
Basically, they explained how he was able to kind of merge the soul sound with the country sound, and how a lot of the audiences in America, especially at the time, it was very segregated, and they would not have potentially listened to both of the genres, most people. So it really kind of bridged a huge gap in American music that, no artist at that time would have even thought of doing. And that is genius, that's awesome. So that was a really cool example of that. And getting to see like Hank Williams Jr. and Willie Nelson too. Willie Nelson, that was pretty mind blowing. That was cool to really get a chance to hear that, and even just to learn like how much went into all of that music. I mean, that's pretty insane. I mean, that's pretty mind blowing stuff. So that was really cool.
The that Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music album that you're talking about, like you see, that's one reason why like the music industry needs to let more artists have control over what they do, because that you mentioned he was a genius, like that nobody else would have thought of that. That wouldn't have happened if he had to like answer to somebody else. That must have been him. Yeah. Like, I can do this, I hear it, I can make this happen. And that was the first gold country album.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, so he brought country into the mainstream. It's amazing you think about that, but he made a lot of, like you said, he made a lot of people who not just like R&B fans, but just the general pop music fan take country seriously for a bit. And now you think of it as like country is, like half of the pop chart now, it's mostly country and rap and a little bit of rock, but yeah, that is, well, anyway, that's what he did, right? Yeah. And then he kept doing that. Did you see that Light in the Attic Country Funk Volume 3 compilation that came out?
My manager bought that 2 days ago. Yes, that looks awesome. I didn't listen to it yet, but I'm excited to.
Yeah, it's cool, but here we go. If you listen to disc 3, there's a lot of that's he's got a lot of that in there where he's sort of pulling that,
super ahead of him.
So he was already there. He was already there. Like, I mean, that was a thing in the 60s and 70s. That was, Light in the Attic is just kind of documenting a thing that happened, but he was right there with it, and just kind of throws it out there. He didn't make a big deal out of it, but you can hear that like synthesis of genres in there. That's very cool.
Look what they done to my song, Mom.
Wait, what's the matter?
Look what they done to my song, Mom. Oh, Lord, Mom. The only thing I could do had right and nice, turn it out all wrong, Mom. Look what they done to my song.
I'll tell you what I thought was great. I like to collect. One of the things I collect are Beatles covers. So there are like 4 or 5 of them on here. If once John Lennon song, but you know what I mean. But the version, Imagine, the version of Something that's on here, the arrangement is just it's amazing. Like how he's got the pedal steel kind of in there, playing some of what was like George Martin's orchestration. He's got it done by the pedal steel, so it's a different. It's really, it's really cool.
Somewhere in her smile, she knows that I don't need no other lover. Something in her style that shows me I don't wanna leave her now. You know I've been leaving how.
That kind of builds, but it also reminds me of every time I hear like a talented bass player doing a Beatles cover, they can never do Paul McCartney.
It is tough. I agree with that. Yeah.
You never quite get it. You never quite get some of those lines. Yeah. So we talked about the content. You kind of showed the book. That's cool. I something that I noticed about the book was that the typeface is a little bit bigger than your typical CD box set, which I thought was actually quite nice. It makes it easier to see all the show the last page there where you get all the track details and stuff.
Oh yes, that was very good. It was cool because it really let you see each track and break it down. And I might be mistaken, I think in very small print some of it says certain tracks will tell you who it is produced by. So it's very small print, but I'll hold that up. Let's see. It literally breaks down every single track on the box set. I'll kind of
look at that. Tons of detail.
Yeah, super detailed. It was really cool.
I think you got chart positions in there.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's and I guess if you want, we've got the track list on our on our website, and it's probably on his website. I mean, people want to see that, but yeah,
they should check it out. It is really, I mean, it's detailed. They really I could tell they dive through the entire discography to really select tracks specifically for what's going to really shine some of the key features in his catalog. They did a good job.
That's really a perfect ending to it. Was there anything that there was one thing that I didn't think was great about it, was just that I ripped the and this is maybe, or what's not great about me is I ripped the I ripped the package when I was putting one of the discs back in. It's just the way that it goes with
book style,
the book style where it just fits in. So but it probably would have been $5 more if they had tried to secure them differently or whatever. So I think it's worth it. And was there anything that you thought could have been done a little better about it, or?
So not many complaints on my end. My only gripe would be I would like to see a vinyl release. I'm a big vinyl guy, so that would be great. That'd be really cool.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think they've got like right before Thanksgiving, they've got like a 2-disc version of it. But
I'll pick it up,
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd love to see maybe like, I don't know what's in the works for Record Store Day Black Friday, or they're already working on next April because of lead times. That live disc would be pretty cool for Record Store Day, don't you think?
That would be great. Oh, I mean, that live CD was probably my favorite. It was really cool. I think so. I mean, it's tough to choose a fave, but there was just super high energy. And it was like, when I put it on, it was like being there. And that's what I love in a live show. If I can listen to the recording and feel like I'm part of the show, that's how I know I'm going to keep listening to it again. And just like, oh, it's a good time.
Right. Yes. Well, one of the producers of this is also the person who's doing the Wilco reissues. And I know you saw Wilco the other day. Yeah. So how was that?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, Tweety cannot do wrong. That was really cool. And it was actually, it was his birthday. I want to say it was his 53rd, I'm pretty sure. So that was exciting. Everyone was singing happy birthday. Nels Klein put his head on his shoulder, really sweet. Yeah. You could tell they're all just such good buddies. It was really cool and super tight, I will say. Good time.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, they seem to come to Portland every tour. It seems that we're really lucky that they come to Maine so often.
I'll have to catch them again if they do.
Yeah. I've seen them a whole bunch of times. Yeah. I mean, they played the Store one time. That was
Oh, right on. That's cool.
That was
Damn.
great. Yeah, it was right after David Bowie died, and for their sound check they did Space.
That-
Well, anyway, Ray Charles is awesome, and the box set's good. Wilco's great, but maybe there'll be more Wilco box sets coming up soon. We'll have to ask Cheryl and see what she's working on, but she can't tell us. So, anyway, yeah. So this is a good box set. This is good. I think
really thorough collection, great tracks. I mean, just, everyone did their research on it. The booklet is good. If people pick it up, I mean, they should really, I read the whole thing. I recommend that. I learned a lot of different facts I would not have known if I didn't do it. So I recommend that. And the live stuff is cool. Oh, good.
yeah. I guess something that I didn't think about till just a second is that, so list price is $99.98, and for 6 discs, that's actually pretty cheap these days. It seems like box sets are having like a price creep.
Yeah, I see some for like the $225 range, and that's a little steep. So when you see one for, half that or even, a little less, that's not bad, And when you break it down, like you said, I agree, for the 6 discs, you're paying, a decent price for it. It's not bad.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, well, thanks. This is great. I hope, thank you for helping out with this. I really appreciate that.
It was great. Yeah. And thanks for letting me listen to the box set. That was really cool.
Sure. Yeah. Well, absolutely. It's nice to get another perspective on it. And, hopefully people will jump on your Instagram there and get kind of more your perspective on wide variety of records, it seems like, but there's definitely there's a focus there. I can, if somebody looks at that, they can tell what, kind of what you're into. So thank you so much. This has been great. And for all those, regular viewers, hopefully we'll get Alex on here again and we could get some, he'll get to pick a record this time and we'll see what you think of. That'd be nice. Yeah. But this has been cool. Yeah. All right. So thanks. I'm going to turn off the recorder now. So big thanks to Alex for helping out. Hope you all enjoyed his insights and perspective. Definitely check out his Instagram page. It's right up. It's exactly what you'd expect after hearing him for a few minutes here. Well, listen, I'll be back at some point, if not before Record Store Day Black Friday, definitely for that. Maybe with Alex a little bit. Who knows? That'd be kind of cool. I have to talk to him about that. So, if you're into the Ray Charles box, get it. There's Ray Charles vinyl coming in November also. And, but whatever you decide, right, about this or anything else, until my next video, I hope you are listening to something awesome.
A boy's born in hard time, Mississippi.